So here we have a stripped back rig. Pretty grubby looking motor. Yeah, hopefully in another video taking this apart and giving it a clean. I noticed there was some water hanging around in the bottom of the gearbox holder, the gearbox mount. So I've taken a screwdriver, made the holes bigger, so now there's no chance of water hanging around in there. Got some rust. You can see that, got some rust on there. So I'm going to be giving it a quick service and show you, well, explain to you the simple things to do to keep it rust free and keep you running in the water. These shocks come with a little clip on top. Unclip that, out comes your spring, or unclip that, fill that with penetrating oil. Keep those nice and rust free and lubricated. For the front, you just remove the servo tray and you'll have the same access to the shocks. Now with the axles, I check the back one first. Take off the 4 screws there. It'll give you access to check both your pinion and your axle gear. I check the back first. If there's plenty of grease in the back, I don't even bother taking the front off. I know there's grease in there. And then for the plastic out drives, the cups and whatnot, I just take some silicone spray or WD-40, anything really, some sort of lubricant that's good for plastic, spray that in there, and that's pretty much it. Get a little tough brush down with some oil, go over all the nuts and bolts, obviously missed those two. This is what they look like. Keep those rust free as well. That's pretty much it for basic maintenance. It's nice to see that after all the hard times this truck have been through, how well it's actually holding up. I think I have some spares upstairs. This is currently metal pinion gear and the axle gears are nylon, so I think upstairs I actually got some spare axles upstairs now where I could upgrade these, make them metal, but I just want to actually see how far I can push these before they actually strip, so I might just leave the plastics in there until I actually need changing. So I've got this thing completely stripped back now. I took the time to unclip these, give them a blob of oil. What was I going to say? Everything looks okay electrics wise. I've had a look in there, lifted it up. Everything still looks okay and ship shape and motor type. I'm not gonna fiddle with anything there. Gearbox is another story. I don't think I waterproofed it good enough. I don't know if you can see there's a bit of moisture in there in the bottom. I don't think it's actually gone into the gearbox, but there's still moisture in there. Let me turn that upside down actually, let it dry out. Leave it like that. Oh, the gearbox itself, as you can see, it's got pretty wet. Another thing I got to sort out is my terrible soldering. It's my first ever kit I've done, so it's a year-old soldering and it's a terrible job. So I'm going to resolder this and re-grease the gearbox. Maintenance is going well. A couple of things that I've done. Resoldered the wire, give it a bit more of a clean solder. Oop. As for the gearbox, it seems to be running okay. What I want to do is I want to grease the inside with the motor removed. As you can see the hole. I want to put a little blob of grease in there just to keep the gears lubricated. And I think I found a cheap and ingenious solution. Using a flathead screwdriver, I just poked a bit of grease on the top, worked it down, and I'm gonna obviously give that a little bit of grease in. It's also pretty handy for the axles and whatnot. Give the motor a run. Seems all fine. It seems to be running quite rapid. Just plugged it directly into a battery, so connection's fine. Still running fine. All the shocks where I oiled them earlier, all the oil is run down the shafts. So they're nice and waterproof and lubricated, rust free. So this worked marvellously. I only put the tiniest amount in, it's quite thick. So I've popped the drive shafts back together, popped the servo tray back on top, the servo cover, and put a very light line of grease around the outside where the motor meets the gearbox, hopefully stop water going in. I plugged it all back in, give it a test whirl. Obviously the servo still works, which I'm very surprised with after all the water I've been in. And now the gearbox sounds smooth as. Happy crawling, guys. Bye bye.